Hello there and welcome to the CSWatch OCR J276 video, and today we are going to be looking at networking hardware. We're going to be looking at what hardware is needed for a network, different cable types and the usage of wireless connections. So if you're going to be setting up a network, you need different pieces of hardware. One of that is a NIC or a network interface card. Normally an internal piece of hardware which allows a device to be able to connect to a network. They used to be separate standalone cards, but now you can find them plugged into motherboards. You can get them both wired and wirelessly. You can find them in PCs, in laptops, in games consoles, anything which has got any sort of internet connection. You then got switches and routers, which look quite similar in some respects, but the differences happen on the inside. Switches connect devices to a LAN, whereas routers are responsible for sending the data between networks. Routers are really important when it comes to the internet, because the routers direct the data to their destination. If you don't have a router, your data won't be able to get to the right place. Bad times. Routers are used in homes to connect to the home LAN to the internet, so you've got your local area network at home. What the router does is it provides a little hardware interface between you and the internet to make sure that you can get online. If we think about cables, you've got Cat5 and Cat6, which are twisted pairs of copper wires. There's 4 pairs per wire. They're twisted together to reduce internal interference. Internal interference can impact the signal, which can then impact the data. Bad times. You've got coaxial cables, which are a single copper wire surrounded by a plastic layer of insulation, which again provides shielding from outside interference. They typically look like the wires which Sky put in when they start putting in a Sky dish. And also you've got fibre optic cables as well, and they transmit data as light. They are very high performance but also very expensive, and they don't suffer from interference. This is very handy, especially if you're working with a lot of data. They can also transmit over large distances without loss of signal quality, which again is very helpful. If we're thinking about wireless technologies, Wi-Fi is a standard use for wireless networks. There's 2 frequency bands, 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz. And in those areas, the bands are split into numbered channels, and the channels overlap each other over a small frequency range. Wi-Fi performance is affected by interference between networks when choosing adjacent channels. So if you and your next door neighbour are using the same channel, there's going to be interference between the two. That's why only certain channels are used so that they're spaced around, so not everyone's going to be getting interference. The last thing you want is data interference, because things can go a little bit badly. So to summarise, certain hardware such as NICs, switches and routers are needed to connect to the network. You can connect to a network via cabling, so for example Cat5, coaxial cable, fibre optic cable, or via Wi-Fi, and a wired connection is faster than wireless connection, and in some cases is more secure as well. I hope this has been a nice introduction to you for the hardware required to connect to a network, and I shall see you in another video. See you later.